guys, I'm so glad you're here because today we're going to be trying out liquid charcoal. So if you're like me and you thought, what is liquid charcoal? Here's the description. Liquid charcoal is water soluble. It can be adjusted from very light to very dark. And it has the thickness of oil paint with a very fast drying time. That's it. That's the description. So, surprisingly, after trying it out, I'd have to say that all those things are true, but there are a few other things that are worth understanding about this medium that are kind of important. So one is that this really dries permanently. I mean, it can't really be erased. If you use charcoal pencils or charcoal sticks, you know that you can erase them depending on how heavily you apply them. But with this, an eraser and water really doesn't pick it back up. Once you put it down, it's down. So for this piece that I'm working on today, I started out with a rough sketch that I did in a hard charcoal, which is, like I mentioned, easily erased. But once the liquid charcoal goes on top, there's really no changing it. The thicker areas can be moved a little bit with water on a brush, but there's always going to be at least a trace of the previous marks there. When I took a look at the reviews, someone on Amazon mentioned that they thought it works much like black gouache. And I'd have to agree to an extent because, like gouache, it also dries a little bit lighter than what you put down. So that's always something that you have to get used to. But it is easy to build up to a really dark black if you want to by just adding a few more layers. And the last key thing I'll mention is that on paper, it's pretty permanent, but in the palette, it's pretty easy to reactivate this stuff with water. So that's a good thing because it's not really cheap. And the small amount that I'm using here was put in the palette maybe 2 days ago and totally dried up. But all it took was a few drops of water and a little working it in with the brush to get it going again. So for this piece, as I mentioned, I started with a rough sketch that I did in hard charcoal, and I'm not just going to be adding in some of the liquid charcoal, but I'm actually going to also tighten things up a little bit with a softer charcoal pencil. And on top of that, even adding in a little bit of white gouache just to bring out some of those highlights, because as I mentioned, you really can't erase once these areas have been darkened by the liquid charcoal. I think if you're looking for a way to really loosen up, I think using a brush with your charcoal does that. I think it kind of inherently just allows you to be a little bit more loose and a little bit more bold with your application, even more so than the stick charcoal, which I've been using recently. So I think I really like it. So ultimately, I think this is a pretty fun way to use charcoal. I love drawing with charcoal, so this does give me more options for my work, and maybe I can get some different effects. I would say, though, my advice before trying out this product would be just simply take a brush and water to a charcoal drawing. See how much you can move the soft charcoal around with just a small amount of water on a brush. This will kind of give you an idea of how this product works and how it'll behave, and a little bit of what you can do with it. Okay guys, that's it for today. If you've tried liquid charcoal, I'd love to hear about it, and if you're thinking about trying it, let us know in the comments. Other than that, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll see you soon.